Hi, it's Dwyer, GamblersAdvisory.com on Roku, Dwyer Boxing News. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Let's talk about what happened in Argentina this weekend between Sergio Martinez and Martin Murray. Now, many people online believe that Martin Murray won the fight. HBO had a text poll after the fight. Apparently 50% believed that Martin Murray won the fight. Right at issue is the knockdown, right, in the 10th round. Was it a knockdown? Should Martin Murray have gotten an extra point? Right? Also at issue is whether Sergio Martinez is in decline. Did he slow down? Is Father Time finally catching up to him? Right? Has he recovered from the 12th round of the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight, which, quite frankly, was one of the worst rounds of his career? Now, I watched the fight. Because I saw the fight after it happened, when I saw the fight, I actually knew of all the controversy. Before rounds took place, I knew that they were going to be controversial. Right? As the fight headed into the 10th round, I knew that there was going to be a controversial possible knockdown in the 10th round. Right, let me just say from where I sit, what happened in the 10th round was a knockdown. That round, in my opinion, even though Martinez had his moments, should have been a 10-8 round for Martin Murray. Now, all of that said, let me say this. Boxing is an expectation game. We, the public, treat different fighters differently. If we're watching a big hitter like Saul Alvarez, and he shows some elusiveness, just some head movement, and dodges a few punches at key moments in a fight, we praise him for his elusiveness, for his defense. We'll give him rounds, as we did in the Austin Trout fight, even when the CompuBox numbers at the end of the fight suggested that he had been outlanded by a wide margin. Right? We don't expect elusiveness from Canelo. So when we get it, we value it. Right? Now with Sergio Martinez, we expect elusiveness. The great head movement, the ability to stand in front of a man with his hands down around his waist and dodge punches. Better yet, come back with very hard, straight left counters. We've seen that before from Sergio Martinez, right? We, at times, hold veteran champions to really unrealistic expectations, right? So, on fight night, there was no question that Martin Murray exceeded expectations. He exceeded my expectations. Frankly, I was expecting Martin Murray to get knocked out. He didn't. In fact, he's the one who got the knockdowns, plural, in this fight. Right? And so I applaud him for exceeding expectations. But what I want everyone to do, and I know Sweet Boxing somewhere online here has a copy of the fight, because on the copy I was watching it said Twitter @SweetBoxing. I encourage everyone to look at this fight a second time, because I believe what they're going to see is going to be something totally different than what they believe they saw on fight night. Right? In other words, once you get past the expectation game, and once you actually look at what's happening in the ring, Who's dictating the fight? Who is landing, quite frankly, the crisper counters? Who is determining where they are in the ring? Who is urging the other fighter to actually fight? What you'll see is that, in my opinion, Sergio Martinez won this fight. In fact, let me go a step further. I believe that the judges' scorecards look accurate to me. Let me tell you some of the problems that people have with the fight. It's exemplified by the 9th round. Right? Now I'm watching the 9th round. I scored the 9th round an even round. But understand, as I was watching the 9th round, early on I thought Sergio Martinez was winning the round. Right? He looks like he's the more impressive fighter, quite frankly. Right? Jim Lampley, on the telecast, during the round, right, after a significant portion of the round has passed, literally says, possible comeback round for Martinez. Right? So it's clear in real time. Even a veteran announcer like Jim Lampley, looking at the round, realizes that Sergio Martinez is holding his own. Certainly he's not getting blown out in the round. Right? Quite frankly, I feel I was conservative in calling this an even round because, my gut tells me that the round was, let's say on a scale of 1 to 100, maybe 52-48 Sergio Martinez. But I thought, you know what? It's a close round. I'll call it an even round. Well, you know the folklore. Harold Letterman actually scores that 9th round for Martin Murray. If you go online here and if you look at people's scorecards, you're going to see that many people scored the 9th round for Martin Murray. Right? The point is simply, Sergio Martinez didn't get blown out in this fight. Several of the rounds are like the 9th round, where while HBO is hyping the fight, while you hear the guys getting all excited, when you actually listen to some of the comments, some of the guys during the telecast tell you during the round that Martinez looks good, that Martinez is having his moment. Right? Let's talk about how I saw it. Okay? The first round. In fact, before I go further, let me just say this. I like nothing better in boxing than to see elite fighters get tested. Right? To me, that's when you see greatness. It's in the last round of Larry Holmes against Ken Norton that you find out about both men. Right? That both men hit a new level. Right? It's when you're looking at Ray Robinson against Carmine Basilio that you realize both of these guys are great fighters. Right? You want great competitive fights. I don't have an agenda in saying, hey, the higher ranked guy won the fight. That's not my game. My game is just to root for great fights. If I thought Sergio Martinez lost this fight, I'd be here online telling you about it. Lord knows I've been here online before telling you that I thought Carl Froch lost the Andre Durrell fight. Right? Well, let's talk about this fight. The first round, I gave it to Sergio Martinez. Harold Letterman gave it to Sergio Martinez. Right? The second round, I gave it to Sergio Martinez. Harold Letterman gave it to Sergio Martinez. Right? Now, I'm not saying Harold Letterman, who I've disagreed with publicly here online, is the, fountain of wisdom. But my point is simply, understand, these aren't extreme positions. Right? Many people gave these early rounds to Sergio Martinez. Round 3, I gave it to Sergio Martinez. So did Harold Letterman. Round 4, I gave it to Sergio Martinez. So did Harold Letterman. Round 5, I gave it to Sergio Martinez. So did Harold Letterman. So now, before we get into the rest of the fight, and quite frankly, The judges didn't even give Martinez a clean sweep for the first 5 rounds, right? I'm just going by what I saw, right? But before I get into the later rounds, understand in a 12-round fight, if one fighter has swept the first 5 rounds, and that's not just my scoring, that's HBO scoring. If one fighter has swept the first 5 rounds, then Martin Murray, the opponent, has a whale of a hole to dig himself out of. Why did Sergio Martinez win these rounds? Because elusiveness is part of the game. Making a guy miss is part of the game, right? Dictating where people are in the ring, that's part of the game. Martin Murray never hurt Sergio Martinez in the first 5 rounds. Martin Murray, interestingly enough, fought an interesting tactical fight. I give credit to him and his trainer, Oliver Harrison, right? Amir Khan's old trainer, right? I give them both a lot of credit because Murray was smart enough to realize he couldn't bum rush Sergio Martinez. So Murray's tentative, right? He's trying to play a cat and mouse game. He's trying to play the game that Matthew Macklin played with Sergio Martinez. But he just doesn't do it as well. Martinez banks the early rounds. So Martinez is up 5-0. I thought the 6th round is an even round, right? Martin Murray starts to land his right hand. No question about it. But understand, Martinez is dictating the pace to such an extent that Martinez drops his hands during the round and literally is egging Martin Murray to throw punches multiple times, right? Martinez is in complete control of the pacing of the round, right? And so my point is simply this. Even though CompuBox is going to show that Sergio Martinez was outlanded in the round, understand Sergio Martinez is not only not hurt, he's literally daring Martin Murray in the round to hit him. And that's after winning the first 5 rounds of the fight. Now we get to round 7. This is actually the round in the fight that troubles me the most, right? If I wanted Martin Murray to win, I have a bigger problem with round 7 than I do any other round. Because there's a moment in round 7 where Sergio Martinez gets hit with a shoulder. It surprises him. He stops fighting. He turns his back to Martin Murray. In my opinion, had Martin Murray taken a step forward and knocked Sergio Martinez out, Martin Murray would be the middleweight champion of the world, right? In my opinion, Sergio Martinez is completely unjustified in stopping fighting at that moment. During the telecast, HBO thought it was a possible headbutt. Everyone except Roy Jones, who figured out it was not a headbutt. That was not a headbutt. Sergio Martinez should not have been allowed that breather. It's a troublesome round, right? But Martin Murray didn't take a step forward and clock Sergio. He just stood there while Sergio Martinez recovered. So that round is a 10-9 round on my scorecard, right? The 7th round is the round that, to me, is the most controversial round of the fight, right? Round 8's not controversial. Round 8, Martin Murray decks Sergio Martinez. That's a 10-8 Martin Murray round, right? Round 9 is the even round I discussed earlier. Round 10, again, that's not controversial to me. Martin Murray decks Sergio Martinez. Let me say this too. You know, who said that punches have to be hard to count as knockdowns? If you hit a man and that punch contributes in any way, shape, or form to that man hitting the canvas, in my opinion, that's a knockdown. Now, HBO started to opine that maybe Martin Murray stepped on Sergio Martinez's legs. I don't have any evidence of that. Based on the video I've seen, it looks to me like Martin Murray hit Sergio Martinez on the top of the head, and then Sergio Martinez falls down. That's a knockdown in my book, right? I thought the 10th round was a 10-8 round for Martin Murray. So here's the catch, right? Murray's won the 7th round on my card. 10-8 in the 8th round. 10-8 in the 10th round. That's a 5-round swing for Martin Murray. We're at the beginning of the 11th round. If Martin Murray closes the show, right, if he steps his game up and batters Sergio Martinez around for 6 minutes, an argument can be made that he's the middleweight champion of the world. That's not how I saw it. I gave the 11th round to Sergio Martinez. During the round, Roy Jones actually says that jab has come alive to save Martinez, right? Max Kellerman says, kind of a quiet round that does not serve Martin Murray right now. I don't think Murray did enough in the 11th round. I thought it was a Sergio Martinez round. Harold Letterman gave the 11th round to Sergio Martinez. Letterman and I disagree on some of these other rounds, but Harold Letterman gave the 11th round to Sergio Martinez. Round 12. All you have to do is look at 40 seconds left in the round. Ask yourself, who's the fighter holding on? Folks, it's Martin Murray. Sergio Martinez wins the 12th round. Harold Letterman has Sergio Martinez winning the 12th round. Letterman's card was 114-113 for Sergio Martinez. He had Sergio Martinez winning. Right after the fight ended, former heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis, online on Twitter, said that he thought Sergio Martinez won the fight. Right? I believe Sergio Martinez won the fight. I thought he won rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, and 12. Unlike Harold Letterman, I thought the 6th round was an even round. I thought the 9th round was an even round. Let me also say this too. In the 70s, I know we went overboard with the idea that you have to beat the champ to take his title, right? Trust me, if you saw that Jimmy Young Ali fight, you understand that in the 70s, we overdid it. You really had to beat up the champ to take his title. It's kind of like baseball. Tie goes to the runner. In boxing, tie goes to the champ, right? You know what? The judges, in my opinion, and I know this is going to upset a lot of people, did Martin Murray a favor by not giving him the title on a fight like this. He does knock down Sergio Martinez multiple times. I don't dispute that. But he didn't do enough to take Sergio Martinez's title. Quite frankly, in my opinion, he didn't do enough to win the fight. There's more to boxing than just knocking a guy down. Let me also point out, too, that with both knockdowns, Sergio Martinez is completely lucid when he hits the canvas. Right? The first knockdown, Martinez immediately gets up, and as he's getting up, he looks to someone in the crowd and he nods. There's never a moment in this fight where Martinez is laid out on the canvas, dazed and confused. The second knockdown, the shot wasn't that hard. It looked like Martinez was really more off balance than dazed and confused. Right? And so my point is, you have 2 knockdowns. I'm counting them as 10-8 rounds for Martin Murray. But you have 2 knockdowns, none of them of the mind-blowing, mind-rattling variety. And then you have a fight where everyone knows Murray started slowly, right, for several rounds. As I said, HBO gave Martinez the first 5 rounds of the fight. I think judges do fighters a disservice when they give them gift decisions in title fights, right? And you're the opponent, because then the crowd, you could have prepared, been legit in the fight. The crowd's going to feel that you got a gift and that you're not a real champion, right? By losing this fight and having the buzz online that Martin Murray is getting, I think this is actually better than Martin Murray, because now he's still in the championship mix. He's viewed as a credible opponent. Fight fans know him, but he's not viewed as having gotten a title in an undeserved fashion. I thought Murray lost the fight. I thought it was a spirited fight by Murray. Murray did much better than I thought he would do. I applaud him. But he didn't do enough to take Sergio Martinez's title. Let me hear from you. Leave your comments for me here online. Visit us at gamblersadvisory.com. Let me also say this too. Many people online are saying this is proof that Floyd Mayweather and Gennady Golovkin can beat Sergio Martinez. Let me just say, not so fast. This is Martinez's first fight back from surgery, and quite frankly, he moved awfully well in the fight. Awfully well. Keep in mind, too, that, Martinez does better when an opponent is aggressive. Think Martinez against Paul Williams. Think Martinez against Kelly Pavlik. Right? My point to you is, if Gennady Golovkin fights Martinez and is on his front foot trying to hunt Martinez down, right, doesn't that allow Martinez to really use his maneuverability in a way that he wasn't able to against Martin Murray, right? As I said before, he's begging Martin Murray at times in this fight to throw punches. He wouldn't be begging Gennady Golovkin, right? Styles make fights. Let me hear from you. Leave your comments for me here online. Visit us at gamblersadvisory.com. I'm not saying Sergio Martinez beats Gennady Golovkin. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But all I'm saying is you can't look at this fight and reach that conclusion. Golovkin fights a different style, in my opinion, than Martin Murray. Let me hear from you. Thanks for watching.